Hello, I thought I would just do a little video to have a chat with you about the materials for Quilt Club. I know that the materials window has passed now for ordering the materials packs to go with the club. So some of you may well be thinking, oh, I don't know about getting my own materials for it. I always use Poppy's materials. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, you choose the materials so nicely. But I think, particularly for this project, it really lends itself to using your own fabrics or picking your own fabrics. Because I know quite a few people, this quilt could be quite a sort of focal point in a room, and you want to know that those fabrics are going to go with your existing decor or be just the colours that you like to work with. So I'm just going to sort of talk you through the fabrics that we're using, because we've got in our quilt, we've got 4 different florals. And for my materials packs, we've gone for a kind of bluey minty kind of a selection. So those are 3 of the florals, and then this is the 4 florals that we'd be having. So if you were picking your own fabrics, you would want to then just try and find 4 florals that kind of work nicely together. They could be, if you wanted to go for sort of browny ochre tones or yellows, I mean, it would be really, you just need to find them. And quite often I find in fabric shops, you'll be looking in the kind of patchwork quilting end of the fabric shop, you'll find they're very often paired together in their kind of colour groups anyway. So I don't think that would be too difficult. So I'm just going to see if I can kind of demonstrate a little bit of the weight of these. So these ones are like a cotton poplin. This one's like what they call an American cotton. So they're kind of a mixture, but they're all fairly lightweight. They're not, if you're used to our previous club, you're used to me doing sort of quite heavier weight fabrics, which are a bit harder to source, but these should be easier. And these are more like the weight that I usually use for a plique. So they are a kind of quite a lightweight fabric. So I don't think you're going to struggle. So you would need to find yourself 4 florals or 6 florals, because there's basically 6 other fabrics apart from our embroidered panels. So then I've gone for this lovely little candy stripe, which I'm sure you'll be able to find something along those lines. And then I've also gone for a polka dot, which is, they should be fairly easy to find. And again, they always come in an array of different fabrics, different colours. So I think if you wanted to kind of find a collection of fabrics that all work together in a different colour scheme, it really wouldn't be too tricky, and hopefully not too expensive either. And then also, if you wanted to do that using your own fabrics that you've already got, it shouldn't be too difficult. And for the small quilt, it's only about sort of 25 centimetres of each pattern fabric that you need. And then for the larger quilt, it's about 50 centimetres, only about half a metre. So there's not sort of huge quantities of those fabrics that you're using for the squares. So in the backing fabric, I've got this lovely blue. So this is a really, really lightweight, like a denim chambray. But you could just use a blue cotton as well. But again, that should be one that you can source and then find it in a colour that's going to kind of work with the rest of your colour scheme. And then the other fabric that's kind of part of the gang is this lovely minty cotton. And so that's what we're going to be using for the border of our quilts. And I sort of liked that it picked up some of the colours in the florals. So again, if you're sort of picking your border fabric to go with yours, you would just sort of want to look at maybe a little detail. So you could have gone for a kind of orangey yellow colour to kind of pick up that detail there to go with it. So I think, again, I mean, for me, it is a lovely thing to do, to kind of pick those colours and pick those fabrics. Who doesn't love like an hour in a fabric shop, like touching and feeling the fabrics and just pairing together the ones that you know are going to work. Now, what I don't have in front of me here is the curtain lining that we're going to use for doing our embroidery onto. But it is known as curtain lining, and you'll get I think the name of it is in the materials list when you sign up. And that is just a really stable, slightly creamy coloured fabric that kind of goes with anything. So whatever you pick in terms of your florals and your spots and your stripes, that cream is going to kind of complement those, and that's going to run throughout your quilt, because every other square is going to be an embroidered square. I will pop in the comments the actual proper name of that fabric, because I don't have it sitting here right in front of me. And then the other element is like a lightweight interfacing that we're going to be applying to that cream fabric when we do our embroidery, so that we don't get too much puckering. Because obviously I do normally work on slightly heavier fabrics. So this is going to be the first project that we will have done in Embroidery Club where we're working on a slightly lighter weight fabric. And I'm aware that we can get puckering. So we're going to try and use this interfacing to kind of head that off at the pass if we can. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea, and hopefully an idea that you really can pick your own fabrics for this one. I don't think you can go too far wrong. And then the other element of it is that the motifs, they're just gorgeous. They are quite floral, and there's some seasidey ones and some other ones in there as well. But I think they're going to really lend themselves to going on to other things and make beautiful little framed pictures of their own. They'll also look lovely on cushions. I mean, they're just, you know, there'll be some techniques and some ways of working that we haven't done in previous clubs, and things that you can apply to lots of other elements of your work. So I think that you'll enjoy the motifs. And also on the side of the motifs, during our live sessions, I'm thinking it'd be really fun to try and, if people want to suggest other motifs that you'd like to incorporate in your quilt or like to kind of have me cover. So I think the live sessions are going to be much more sort of based around coming up with some extras and some additional motifs that you can then incorporate into your quilt or into other projects. So hopefully that gives you a bit more of a sense of Quilt Club. I'm sure I'll have more things to say before subscription closes on the 6th of February. But yeah, get in touch. If you've got any questions, you can drop us a line at the Embroidery Club email, and I can't wait to get started.